Hello guys, today we'll be talking about the new Ghostbusters movie that came out a couple months ago in the theaters. So if you do not know, this is the newest entry in the Ghostbusters franchise. There are four Ghostbusters movies, but the third one, which one, if we don't know which one we're talking about, nobody likes that one. That's the all-female Ghostbusters movie. But basically, they basically, a mother and their kids basically moved to this new town, and basically they realized that it was one of the original Ghostbusters house they're related to as well. So basically they inherited his guy's house, and basically it was basically prophesized that they would come here in the story, which is kind of a spoiler, but again, I'm not gonna spoil the whole plot like of the Ice Age movie, but again, the Ice Age movie, I was basically trying to make sure you guys don't watch that movie because it's an absolute disgrace to the entire franchise. Yeah. And is this movie good or is it a pile of Steven Dogshit? Well, luckily, it is actually a good movie. Is it as good as the original? It's debatable. Well, a lot of fans, of course, a lot of people hold the first movie in very, very high regard. But I think it won't be a controversial opinion to rank this movie if some people like this movie over the original. But if you like the original Ghostbusters movie, you'll definitely love this movie. They have a lot of fan service to the original movie. So if you're a fan of the original movie and the second movie, you'll like this movie because this movie is basically a sequel to the first two movies. Basically making the 2016 movie not even canon to the Ghostbusters universe and the Ghostbusters timeline. Which again, this is just like Justice League and Suicide Squad. Why didn't we get this movie instead of 2016? It is very frustrating with movie studios. Okay, they give us these movies, these reboots and remakes that nobody wanted, nobody asked for. Remakes and reboots that are just basically piles of garbage. Okay, Ghostbusters 2016 or Ghostbusters Answer the Call is one such movie. Nobody liked Ghostbusters 2016 except for Twitter. Twitter gave it 10 out of 10s, but Twitter giving it 10 out of 10s did not save the movie from losing money for Sony. Nee. Nee. And yeah, Ghostbusters Afterlife is a pretty good movie if you like the first Ghostbusters movies. And yeah, I'm not gonna spoil the whole story of the movie, like I said in the earlier part of the video. Okay, I think I lost track in the video. What was I talking about before? Oh yeah, Ghostbusters trilogy. And basically the remakes and reboots of franchises, it just seems that the studios might finally be learning the lesson in this stuff. For example, releasing the original Justice League, the original Zack Snyder's Justice League. They finally released that. They didn't release in theaters though, but they still released it. And you can still buy it on Blu-ray or watch it on streaming services. As much as it pains me to say that. And Ghostbusters Afterlife released in theaters, and guess what? The movie is probably gonna make more money than 2016, the all-female Ghostbusters. So overall, this movie is pretty good. The CGI is sometimes lacking, but again, this movie only costed like $70 to $75 million to make. Which, for a movie that didn't really cost that much money to make, it did pretty well. Well, at the box office for a smaller budget movie. And again, this movie should also show that you don't need a $200 million movie to make a masterpiece, a good movie. Okay, you don't need a $200 million budget or $150 million budget or over $100 million budget to make a good movie. Which again, Hollywood's not going to warn that lesson because according to Hollywood, the more money you spend, the better the movie will. Even though that has been proven wrong many, many, many times. Let's look at all the horrible movies of bad CGI, bad character, and bad writing, and they have like $140 million budget, and they basically bombed at the box office. This. Because they spend so much money on the movie. An example of that would probably be Space Jam: A New Legacy. But overall, if you are a fan and will have nostalgia for the original, or you're a fan of the series overall, you don't have to be a boomer to enjoy this movie. If you just like the franchise, you'll like this movie. So overall, other than some parts of the CGI, which again is done pretty well for a movie of $75 million budget, which, like with Blade Runner, proves that you don't need a $200 million budget to have good CGI. So yeah. But again, there wasn't really much CGI in the movie. Only at the very end there was CGI scene. And that's basically about this video. Yo, what score should I give it? I'll give it a 9 out of 10. 9.5 out of 10, which will round up to a 10. So that's basically it about this video. Goodbye.